Next up, we get the Brainbusters versus Strikeforce. And this one is a 9-minute contest, and it ends when ultimately Rick Martel gets hit with a flying forearm by Tito Santana by accident and then walks out on his partner. The fans actually come alive for this, booing Martel as he walks away. Anderson hits a spine buster. Santana goes for a monkey flip, but Arn holds on to Tully to prevent it, and then the Brainbusters hit a spike pile driver to win the match. Tom?
Yeah, I quite like this match. I really did. I mean, got to give a shout out to Arn Anderson because he's got a great rug going on, hasn't he? Great hairy chest. Fair play to the lad. There's some pretty good wrestling in this match, actually. There's a lovely bridge by Tito Santana, bridge escape that he does at one point, and ultimately the point of this match is to split up Strikeforce. And going into this, there'd been a bit of friction between the two of them. Apparently Rick Martel had asked that they reform, and then he leaves after he gets hit by Santana. My boy is in the aisle, Tinky, as well, of Rene Goulet.
Yes.
I noticed he's just there hanging out in the aisle, having a lovely time in the weird ramp. It's something we haven't mentioned yet. A really strange entranceway at Trump Plaza, isn't there? It's really narrow and really high up, and there's like steps at the beginning of it. It's very, very peculiar entrance point to the arena. The spike pile driver by the Brainbusters is a thing of beauty, as is Arn Anderson's Brainbuster. Fair play to him.
Spinebuster.
What did I say? Brainbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know what? You can see where I got that wrong, can't you? It's just, quite a fun match, and ultimately it leads towards, Rick Martel becoming the model and being a heel for a good couple of years. And we mentioned the rivalry that kind of went on forever between Rick and Santana, and this is kind of the origin of that. And I really liked it. And at the end of the match, there's a brief interview, isn't there, with Rick Martel from Gene Okerlund, and Gene Okerlund is absolutely disgusted with Rick's actions, and that's what I like. I love the fact that Gene Okerlund is the moral compass of the WWE. It's weird seeing Arn Anderson in the WWF ring as well. It is just a bit weird. I've seen it before, obviously, but it still always is. Feels a bit weird at that time, especially considering how much of a short they weren't there. They were only there for a year, not even that, were they? I don't think.
Well, it might have been for nearly 2. It might have been for about 2 years, because the Brainbusters win the tag titles later in the year. So yeah, but it's not it's not really long. Matt.
Total disclosure, for me, this is where the show started to go off a cliff a little bit. I think my enjoyment of this match probably suffered a little bit because of it. In all fairness, I think if I probably watched it again, I'd probably enjoy it more and give it a little bit more attention than I probably did. Not to say that, I didn't enjoy it, and it wasn't bad. It certainly was good, and I do quite like Tito Santana, so to see him sort of do most of the match on his own, I thought was pretty cool. The spike pile driver at the end absolutely was like, that literally grabbed my attention. That was a thing of beauty. But yeah, it just, I don't know, I started to lose it a little bit at this point in the show, and this match was where I just started to think, this is getting on a bit now. So I do think if I watch it again, it probably would be a little bit better. So yeah, I don't think I'm being overly fair on it, but it wasn't too bad.
This was another one that I was going in looking forward to for this show for, and again I was slightly disappointed with it. It was fine, it was decent, but the Brainbusters are capable of so much more. I think Strikeforce are as well, in fairness, but it told a good story, and as I said, the fans actually came alive for something on this show during this match. So when Martel walks out, they are booing the hell out of him. Now, given that they don't probably know these two teams beforehand, and then certainly I've also got a note at the beginning which says the crowd is completely silent, shows that the story of this match actually seeped through into the crowd, which was pretty impressive given that the crowd just were not interested really in the whole show. So I like that aspect of it. And obviously we have referenced Tito Santana versus Rick Martel a million times because it's such a good example of a significant tag team who had been the champions splitting up, and then the company not allowing its viewers to forget the fact that they used to be tag team partners and that they will forever hate each other, even though they're no longer in a feud, an officially designated feud. That dislike between the two remains throughout their remaining WWF career, so that when they happen upon each other in a Royal Rumble, they just resume hostilities immediately because they really dislike one another. It should be the default setting of all wrestling for me to have this memory of a significant partnership that then splits up should remain a significant chapter in both the company's storylines and also these two characters' journey. And when you don't relate back to that again and again and again whenever they come into contact with one another again, you lose all of that good equity that you've got from having done it in the first place. And it happens all of the time in WWE. I've seen it so many times where they just ignore the fact that two people used to hate each other. Now, because they're no longer in an officially designated feud, they don't hate each other anymore. It just doesn't make this. It's where wrestling really falls down for me in general.
It's like what we said earlier about people not showing their kind of respect to the viewers.
As a viewer, you want to believe that what you've watched matters, because if you don't believe it matters, then why would you watch what you're watching now? Because you know in 6 months it won't matter anymore. Next up, we've got, as you said, Gene Okerlund's backstage with Rick Martel. Martel says he is sick and tired of carrying Santana and he got what he deserves. Gene Okerlund castigates him for doing so.